Welcome to the Masters in Motion podcast, where we empower Masters athletes to reach their full potential. Join us as we delve into the world of CrossFit and showcase the strength, resilience, and determination of Masters athletes because we love this sport. I'm Jason Grubb. I'm here with Rick Stevenson. This is episode 22. Hey, Rick, how are you doing?
All right. Having a good week. How are you?
I'm great. Lots of training going on around here, preparing for the CrossFit Games. I came off of a deload week 2 weeks ago, and it feels like since then it's just been laying down the hammer, and I love that. I know
you've ramped up.
Ramped up, and there's just no time. You know, there's only 4 or 5 weeks until the games, and we're there. So the days are long. Thankfully, the sun is out until 9 o'clock, 9:30 every night, so that I can sneak in those Echo Bike sprints at 8:30 p.m. last night or 2 nights ago.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah.
You're crazy. At 8:30 p.m., I'm wanting to lie down and go to bed. I don't go to bed at 8:30, but I want to.
I mean, it would be great. If anybody were to take anything from this episode, it would be like 8 to 10 hours of sleep is better than anything you could do as far as fitness recovery, period, hands down. Stop spending money on anything else. But the reality is, we do all that other stuff because we only get like 7 hours of sleep because we're actual living human beings, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, the sun's still out. I mean, I'm having a good week, getting some work done and getting a little bit of training in here and there. And for listeners that are not in Ohio, we're having another one of those few days periods of the smoke coming down from the California wildfires, to the point where, talking to somebody and it's impacting Illinois, Chicago area, and you just look on a map and it's again drifted all the way down, and it is extremely hazy. And in fact, our outdoor concert venue that we have here, I follow them on Instagram. They posted something tonight. They're canceling the show that they had because they just don't want people outside. The conditions are at a level where you just really shouldn't be out breathing too much of this. So
wow,
Ohio is once again getting some of the fallout. So
well, I'll tell you
do your
what,
training inside. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I've been in Colorado. I mean, my whole life until traveling in an RV for the past couple of years, and every summer we get some big wildfires in Colorado, and there were some years in 2019, 2020 where the air quality was so bad, so hazy. It made for some weirdly gorgeous sunsets. But
it plays with the sky. Yeah,
it does. It plays with the sky, plays with the temperature, plays with the sun. But when you're training in that, and it smells like smoke outside. You're not anywhere near an actual wildfire. Yeah, it smells
Absolutely
like a campfire.
Not. Oh yeah.
So my Tesla has a bio warfare filter, a filtration system.
Yeah.
No, it really does. It's silly. But in the event that smoke finds its way to where I'm at in Colorado, I'll just turn on the biodefense mode and I will sleep in the Tesla. Not really, but that would be fun.
I'll just go out there. I did notice a few more people walking around with masks.
Yeah.
Felt very, very eerie back to a few years ago when people were wearing masks even outside. But it's noticeable. I mean, I think it impacts your eyes and certainly you smell it. So
yes.
Hopefully winds change.
Yeah, hopefully. And all that just calms down. But hey, let's jump into the news this week.
Sure.
We don't have a lot of news this week. There wasn't a ton of updates out there that we noticed. Both of us have had our heads down in work, but we did have a call. Masters or all the Games athletes had a call with the CEO of CrossFit as well as Dave Castro last Friday, I believe it was. And it was not overly surprising. There weren't any major revelations. I think the purpose of the call was to just help people feel assured, like the CrossFit Games are well taken care of. Dave spent a good amount of time talking about his history with the CrossFit Games, which we know he's got a vast and long history with the CrossFit Games. He knows the Games inside and out. He's been to every CrossFit Games except for last year, where he wasn't at the CrossFit Games. And he just sounded like a guy that was ready to be in charge. Dave is so compliant as a loyal employee of CrossFit, even though at one point CrossFit fired Dave Castro. When invited back,
Mm-hmm.
he went back. I think it's just his blood runs with CrossFit in there, so he just came back, and whatever task he's given, he gives 1,000% of his energy and his efforts. He doesn't compromise in any way. So what he's been doing the past year, he's been 100% all in on. And now that he is moved into a leadership role for the CrossFit Games, which is its own division, he just assured us that he will put together the very best, or continue to operate the very best version of the CrossFit Games possible. He promised that there will be mistakes, but that he'll address those mistakes like the best that he can. They just let us know, like, every year there's been mistakes. Every year they learn something new, and there's probably going to be some things this year that they'll learn because our sport is so dynamic. But that he is he's on it. He is approachable, and even if it looks like he's beelining it from one venue to the other venue, he will, if approached, stop to answer questions from Games athletes. He really opened the door to make himself available to us if he can be available. So I thought it was a really nice gesture. I think they could have done that in a quick little video, a quick little press release. They didn't actually open it up for Q&A, but it was nice. I mean, I tuned in and I enjoyed it. I felt like it was, I'll tell you the funnest part about being on a Zoom call like that is going through just all the other participants. And you see, the people that have their cameras on, they're just watching. You got Noah Olson, you got Brett Fikowski, and Valander. He was just looking at all the people who are looking at a live camera, and you're like, wow, I'm just on a call with all these guys. So that was probably the most entertaining part.
I was going to say, just a who's who of athletes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm happy that they did that. Obviously, they didn't need to do something like that last year, just because I think things were kind of running well, and there were no major changes, obviously right before like you've all had this year. So yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have fair and balanced and tests for you all there, and a good experience. Certainly wish you all the best.
I mean, I've in 4 years at the Games, I have not had a poor experience. There's been small frustrations here and there, scoring issues that needed to get corrected, but really, it's just such a huge operation, and it's amazing what they're able to pull off every single year with the amount of athletes and the amount of events and moving parts. So it's really a special thing, and I expect nothing less this year. It's going to be a great event, and I can't wait to go up there, and I can't believe it's literally right around the corner. So that was one piece of news. The other piece of news that I wanted to share, I saved it to the end of the episode on our last episode, but my company that I'm launching, Boulder Athlete, which is a master's training program, is not live yet. We're just a couple weeks from launching. We've signed with Beyond the Whiteboard, and we're going to be delivering our program via that app. Very excited about that. But as a company, we are offering a bonus program for masters athletes at the Games. So every year, or I guess a couple of years ago, Reebok announced a bonus program. So if you were wearing their shoes and you won an event, you would get a cash prize, and they would deliver that via an ACH transfer. It was like 6 or 8 weeks after the Games, 6 or 8 months after the Games. I'm sorry. It was great. It was really, really cool, and I've earned a lot of extra money from those event wins. And earlier this year, while I was brainstorming with my business partner, how could we, as an organization that serves masters athletes, how could we support all of the masters athletes at the Games in a way that's meaningful? And we thought about sponsoring certain athletes. We thought about lots of different options. Then it just came up like, gosh, what if we offer an event win bonus program? In fact, I actually did a survey with about 10 or 12 Masters Games athletes to see what they would prefer, and they all liked the idea of this event win. It just makes each event a little bit more special. Like, you win an event, you just earn yourself a little bit of extra cash. If you win the Games, you get a prize from CrossFit, first, second, third place, or big prizes. But if you just win an event, it's nice to walk away with something in your hand. So Boulder Athlete is providing a $50 per event cash bonus for any and every Masters athlete competing at the Games in 2023. You do not have to be a Boulder athlete. You don't have to worry about some sort of loyalty to your training program or a training partner or a coach or anything like that. You're not ascribing to follow Boulder Athlete in any way. It's just a bonus bonus to say, hey, congratulations, Masters athletes. And we'll be handing out these $50 cash bonuses. It's not a check. It's not a transfer. It's a cash bonus at the unofficial Masters after party, which will be at Capitol Brewing Thursday night. So we finish, we compete Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday night, we'll have a little get-together, unofficial Masters party for the CrossFit Games at the Capitol Brewery. Just come over, say hi, and collect your prize. Just show me on your phone, like, I won this event, and this event, and here's your $150 or whatever it is. It's that simple, and I just wanted to share that as news. I think Barbell Spin shared that as well, which is really cool. So if you know a Masters athlete that's on social media, that's not on social media, who's going to the games, all they have to do is register. There's a registration link. Just go to boulderathlete.com. At the very top, there's a banner that says register for the bonus program. You're just putting your name on there so that I know how much of a budget to bring to the party. Like, I don't want to, I'm not coming there. I need to know the budget. Like, that's literally all it is. If I have this many athletes, I can make some assumptions on how much cash to have on hand. So it's that simple. Just register. If you know a Masters athlete competing at the games, tell them, like, hey, have you registered yet? Just go to boulderathlete.com. That's BOLDER, as in I am bold. I'm not a rock, like a boulder. I'm bold as in I'm doing fun things. I'm a Boulder athlete. Boulderathlete.com is where you go to sign up. So that's a bit of news for the Masters athletes out there, and I hope that we could do this every year. I would love for this to grow into something bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not sure if Reebok is doing a bonus program this year, so we may be the solo bonus program. We'll see.
Any bonus programs for those doing these podcasts with you, by chance?
You know what? If you show up, the bonus is that if any partners in this podcast show up at the brewery, I will buy his beer, and you can only. And I know that you're not a huge drinker, so I think it's going to cost me $10. So that's on me, Rick. It's on me.
Okay. All right. I got to start confirming travel plans right now.
Confirm the travel plan.
Not missing out on that. Not missing that.
Hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on travel. You're not missing out on $10 worth of beer. I mean, you got to get there.
Exactly.
Got to get there.
Exactly. Hey, that sounds like a really nice program, and I hope you get some uptake from it. And again, I hope the athletes understand that it's not any kind of a obligation or anything like that, but just a way to draw more people together. And frankly, age group can use a little, excitement, more excitement, I guess is what you say.
Excitement, camaraderie, handing out dollars. It's really fun. And we've got a lot of Masters athletes signed up already. The total of Masters athletes competing at the games is around 140 athletes. We've got 7 divisions, 10 per division, men and women, 140 total athletes. I'm looking to get as many of those 140 athletes signed up for this as possible so that we can make sure we maximize the opportunities for everyone. So, excellent. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'll bring up for those not competing in Madison, the summer competition schedule continues to kind of churn along. I know the individual invites went out for the Masters Fitness Collective, which again will be held in Fort Wayne at the end of September, beginning of October. So they had a online qualifier over a period of maybe 8, 9, 10 days, 4 workouts or so. And after video review, I do know the first round of invites went out because someone at our gym did snag a spot in the category. So excited that that's moving along, and I will be participating on a team event there. There was no qualifier for the teams. I think they'd like numbers, and frankly, that was fine by me. It's the experience and the camaraderie that goes along with that I'm most looking forward to. So that's moving along. And then as we move later in the summer, I know you and I will talk more about Legends qualifier.
Absolutely. And Wadapalooza.
It'll be Wadapalooza after that. I mean, outside of any local or regional competitions, you can, these larger events that we continue to support ourselves and promote as best we can. You want the traction and you want the people to not only be spectators and fans, support, do the qualifiers, enjoy the experience. And if you're lucky enough to snag a spot, go and get comfortable competing against athletes you're in your division. Some you may know, some you may not know. Just again, if you're into competing and this is an outlet for you, great experience, and larger fields than Madison. So
It's
that helps.
Yeah, and
except Wadapalooza.
Except Wadapalooza, which is cutting the field.
Yeah.
Which, okay, it is what it is, and they're adding teams, so it's a compromise. But
yeah, it's
I can't say enough positive things about Masters Fitness Collective, Legends, these Masters-only competitions that provide a large field, a huge opportunity for Masters to go and put in some live competition reps. I don't know about you, but whether I'm competing in a local competition against people in Denver or a national competition or even an international competition like Masters Fitness Collective, Wadapalooza, Legends, or something, all the way to the games, it doesn't matter where I compete. It's a similar experience. I'm selling my soul for points. Come hell or high water. It doesn't matter the size of the competition. I put in all of the effort, and it's just so much fun to be a 47-year-old athlete, knowing that I get to compete. I get to do this in a sport that I love, and that I have the opportunity to do this for like the next 20 years at least. So I love these competitions, and I love the qualifiers. In fact, when we were traveling through your neck of the woods last year, I did quite a few of the Legends qualifiers with you. I think I did 3 of them.
Yep.
You were in a boot, so you were judging me and Mike, and we were just having fun doing the qualifiers.
Clipboard king that weekend.
So much fun.
Count the rep. But again, it's so different than training in your own familiar space with your own favorite pull-up bar.
Yeah.
You have the elements to consider if it's an outside event. You have a judge that needs to communicate with you. You have the pressure of people in lanes next to you. And again, that appeals to some, and that's why we compete. It doesn't appeal to others, and they're here for fitness, and that's most important. So we need to identify, really what gets you excited, and then make the effort and follow that through. So we're excited, and we'll continue to talk about that too as these dates come and go or are coming closer.
Yep, I can't wait. We have so much content, so much to go over in the next few weeks leading up to the games, post games, into the other competitions. It's going to be super fun. So with that, let's jump into our topic for the day. I thought, we were both just kind of jam-packed with work, but we wanted to make sure we got an episode out this week. And I know that one of the things that's been on my mind over the past week or two in particular is weaknesses. So as I'm preparing for, a big stage competition, I've been thinking about working on my weaknesses. I've actually been working on specific weaknesses for quite a bit longer, but it had me thinking about some of the sticky spots or the weaknesses that we've had in our CrossFit journey from start all the way up until now. You and I have been doing this for a long time, so I pitched this over to you. You're like, yeah, it sounds like fun. Let's talk about this. So I will ask you the first question. What was in your early years or in your development years as a CrossFit athlete? What was a sticky spot for you, a weakness, something you got stuck on that you just had to work to get over? And then how did you overcome that weakness?
Okay. Well, still overcoming that weakness. We'll say that, but not coming from an Olympic lifting background. A lot of CrossFit requires, it's the combination of, barbell and gymnastics and monostructural work. We all know that. But with regards to Olympic lifts, I just didn't have a background in it. I didn't have any experience. Working with good coaches helped, and it really helps that our owner has a very good Olympic lifting background, a coaching background in it, and has been able to work with me over the years. Points of performance, using video, just repetitive drills over and over. And there's a difference between working on, training versus, something in a Metcon where suddenly form breaks down and power snatches become, you're becoming a little lazy and a little like a snake or something like that, just because you're trying to move through them so fast. But still understanding the fundamentals and working through that was a big sticking point for me early on. Having a good coach that was right there with eyes on you, not remote, not hiring a specialist or anything like that, but working with a coach, has helped me progress as I've moved through the journey.
Yeah. And what I've heard you say in there is a little bit of a lot of persistency, a lot of
Correct.
consistency, just sticking with it and not giving up. Specifically because Olympic lifting is I mean, it's like a golf swing. It could be can continually be perfected over time, and it is about the elements of how strong you are and some things like that. But a lot of it is timing and, like you said, specific points of performance, hitting these certain touch points along the way. And it's just I know that for me, when I hit a snatch and it's just right, it's effortless. It's like driving. I don't know anything about golf, but driving 300 yards. I don't know if that's good, but
Yeah.
like
Hell yeah.
sending one straight down the fairway. You're like, why doesn't it always feel like that? And you just know, you
Correct.
knew when you hit it that it was perfect.
Yep. Yep. You're
And
You've
it
got that
snatches
triple
like that.
extension,
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
under the bar. The
yeah.
bar's effortless.
Effortless. And it's so rare for me to have that happen. But when it does, man, it feels good. Well, that was good. For me, I think you were going to ask for me, one of my
Hmm.
earliest challenges was two come to mind, actually, in the early years. One was double unders. It just was aggravating. I couldn't get it. And it just wasn't natural. Like single unders all day. Double unders felt like it was just not anything that we should be doing as human beings. It would be a jump. The rope would cross underneath twice, and then I would land with 1,000 pounds on my feet. It was just no good. But what I did know, and same with, it's funny because it's a lot like Olympic lifting. I just knew that with persistence, if I just continued to do these, my brain would figure this out. It would rewire it. And I got to the point where I could do about 5 double unders in a row, and I started staying after class like 3 days a week to complete efforts of what's it called? Flight simulator. That's what it's called.
Flight
And it's
simulator. Yes,
yeah,
I've
this
heard
is
of it. I've never done that though.
oh, it's really
Yeah.
fun. You do 5 double unders, stop, then 10, stop, then 15, stop, 20, stop, and you do that all the way up to 50, and then you work your way back down the ladder. And if you trip up on rep number 44 out of 45, you got to do your 45 set again. You have to complete the unbroken set before you move to the next ladder in essence. And
Hmm.
I
Sure.
did that to 25 and down for quite a few weeks. And then I started working my way all the way up to 50 and back down, and 50 and back down, until I was just done with the problem of double unders. And that was it. It was, within 6 months of starting CrossFit, I had double unders locked in. And it was just one of those things. I was so frustrated that I couldn't do it that I just attacked it with ferocity. Now, I gave myself shin splints at the time. It was
Oops.
too much. Yeah, it was too much. And I wasn't wearing the right shoes. And so, we want to do things with a little bit more moderation. But the another thing that I really got stuck on was ring muscle ups. I picked up bar
Hmm.
muscle ups, within the first maybe 9 months of CrossFit. I could do a bar muscle up, maybe 2. But ring muscle ups took me almost 2 years to get to where I was comfortable. And that actually took a gymnastics seminar. I went to the CrossFit Gymnastics Seminar, and something just clicked there. It just clicked. It was ring muscle ups have so much technique built into them. Like, yes, you have to be able to pull, you have to be able to come out of the dip, you have to have general elements of gymnastic strength in order to do a ring muscle up. But there was so much of it that was in a correct kipping swing. And I was even a gymnast in my teenage years.
Hmm.
In
It's
junior
interesting
high.
that you say that because knowing your background
Right. You'd think I
there
would have
too.
just got it.
Yeah.
But I did not. I could not get it. And I remember, I think the coach's name was Nicole, and she did the gymnastics seminar. I flew to Salt Lake City, Utah, to do this gymnastics seminar, and something clicked, and I got one, and that was it. I was like, oh, that's it. It was more about pulling the rings to my hips instead of pulling them to my chest on a kipping muscle up, and
Hmm.
and yeah, I got it. But I just I don't have a lot of detail about how I overcame that weakness. It was a sticky spot for a really long time, a frustratingly long time. And then it just magic happened, and I got it. And I know there's a lot of movements that sometimes it takes a while, then all of a sudden we get it, and our brain's like, oh, that's how you do it. Okay, let's just do it like that from now on. And those are always nice.
Well, you just said background, and where one of your sticking points with double unders, and there are some, if you've wrestled in your past, suddenly, well, not suddenly, the rope is nothing to you because it's something that you've trained with mostly in your background there.
Yeah.
And again, but when you said gymnast, you also weighed how many pounds lighter when you were a gymnast.
Yeah.
And we're talking as we know, specifically to older masters athletes. We're not talking to a 22-year-old who might have been doing gymnastics just 5 short years ago, or wrestled through high school and maybe some college or something, and now has turned to CrossFit because it's something that they can continue to be competitive in. Here, you and I, we have journeys, and a lot of folks out there too, I'm sure, separated by athletics that we did 20, 25, 30 years ago.
Exactly.
And you've picked up the sport now and gone, ooh, no wonder my body just doesn't move in space like that. Or heck, I've never been upside down on my hands, unless I fell out of something or something like that. But handstand walking for me, there was no specialist involved. I just kept practicing up against the wall, watching videos. I was so afraid that when I would kick up, I'd tip over and just come crashing down on the other side, until the confidence came, where it was one hand in front of the other, achieving balance. But do I have it still, and even now? I mean, yes, I like to walk on my hands, but how about pirouettes that just came up? I watch your video and you just kind of spin in circles, and I'm still, tracking along step at a time. Just means we're just more practice. That's all.
Yeah, it really is. And handstand walking for me is just as natural as walking upright. I'm probably safer on my hands, because upright I trip a lot and I stub my toe. But it's that
on your hands you can watch what's
I
coming
can
to
see
you
it.
a little bit
Yeah, I'm
better.
very close to it. Very close to the action.
Your eyes are closer.
I was thinking as more of a athlete, as I progressed along, I think one of the movements that scared me, and I was afraid for years in 2018, 2019, I was afraid that pistols would show up in an age group qualifier or the open. And they did show up, I believe, I think we had 2 opens in 2019. It was one of those, that weird year. I think we had pistols.
Maybe one in the fall.
Yeah, in the fall. And that was the first time I did pistols, I think, ever in actuality. I don't think I'd actually done them before, that I couldn't do them, but then I was forced to in the open. And wow. I mean, there's just other people that just do pistols effortlessly. They could just get up and squat down, knees together.
They're built differently too. Their knees handle better than. But then again, your joints let you handle something that they struggle with.
Very much
pressing
so.
overhead or pulling.
And my overhead position is stacked. My pistol position is compromised. And I've got longer femurs. I don't have a great body type for pistols, but I'll tell you what, I've been nervous about pistols for years. And I mean, they were at the games last year. I got warmed up enough, and there was enough adrenaline to get through those. They were actually in quarterfinals last year as well. But this year...
Oh, that's right. We had those.
We had them. We had 30, I think. And those were slow for me. That was my worst performance in that quarterfinal. But 8 weeks ago, I just decided, under Boulder Athlete training, that I was not going to have pistols be something I was afraid of. And so I've been doing a lot of single leg work. I've been trying to find that balance of doing pistol work along with other single leg work, like step ups, step downs, eccentric work, Bulgarian split squats, which are probably the best exercise known to man. I mean, they're just
those leave me hobbling
every time. They're just death. But as far as being a well-rounded athlete, we have to be good with single leg work. It doesn't have to be pistols, but pistols are just part of that puzzle. But I'll tell you what, Rick, the thing that is still surprising to me, even as a seasoned athlete that's been doing this a long time, is that when I focus on working on a weakness and I put effort towards that, from multiple angles, it's not just doing only pistols. It's doing multiple things that should help pistols, and doing that consistently for the past 8 weeks. I could just do pistols now. Like, I'm good. All the central nervous system things that were sort of protecting my right hip because it used to hurt on pistols, like all of that is sort of overcome. And now if you ask me to do pistols in a workout right now, my question will be weighted or unweighted, because I'm cool with both. Yeah. I know, and I'm excited, but I was surprised that it was working. I mean, maybe that's a weird thing to say, but I think as adults, sometimes we are surprised. Sometimes we find ourselves beating our heads against a wall. Maybe it's walking on our hands, or maybe it's Olympic lifting, maybe it's pistols for me. But when we just settle into a pattern over a long time of repetitive tasks that should benefit this outcome of being able to do a particular movement or increase weight or something like that, whatever it is, when it happens, I'm still surprised. Like, I've been doing a lot of squat cycles over the past 8 weeks as well. And I PR'd my back squat, PR'd my front squat, randomly PR'd a bench just 2 weeks ago. Those movements without concern. I wasn't worried about those PRs. I felt well prepared for those. And that's just doing some consistent work that then proves to pay off. I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot. That's how that works. It's supposed to work this way. And it's nice when it does.
And you say you can teach an old dog new tricks.
That's
the nice part.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
your body learns, your body adapts.
it may take a little more time for us masters. It may take more time for our brain body connection to latch up, but it is possible. It will connect. So I think it's fun.
I was going to say, and you didn't shoot a kneecap of yours out and hit the side of the RV or anything like that, right?
No, not yet.
The boys are inside playing and they hear this thunk and they're like, "What's that?" No, oh, it's Dad's kneecap.
It's kneecap exiting his body.
No, I'll take for my last. I'll turn it a little twist here. In not so much, what did we overcome or some sticky points, but the continual evolution of trying to be better. It's something that you need work on. And maybe you're not ready to tackle something like this on your own or by watching videos or by practice and repetition, but is actually working with a specific specialist. And I hear this a lot more down in the individual athlete side of the house, more so than the masters community. But say Chris Hinshaw is probably the best known in CrossFit right now from an endurance coach perspective. A lot of athletes have sought his coaching and training out specifically to work on areas that they identified. People have hired swimming coaches. Get better in the water. Maybe a little bit of work on gymnastics, but there are certainly specialists in each of these areas, and we touched on Olympic lifting earlier too, that you can reach out. Depends on how much time, effort, money that you want to do this. I mean, it depends on what your goals are, but the ability that we have now, I think with the growth of the sport, that this community has afforded us to identify who these specialists are that might be in your area, or will take on a remote coaching or something like that, where you can work one-on-one to work specifically on something that you can do. You can get in the water, you can swim, but how do I refine myself and how do I become more efficient? Or I can run, absolutely. How do I run? How do I become a better runner? Things like that. So there's another way to tackle things that you might know how to do, but want to get better at.
Yes. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt to that, a little seasoning, and say that it reminded me, like, tomorrow, funny enough, I've got a call with Dave, who is the founder of RX Smart Gear. He's seen my double unders and he's not happy.
Really?
Okay. He in a not a bad way, but I have work to do. I could do double unders all day, but I like a longer rope and my arms travel wide. And that is a very inefficient version of double unders.
Okay.
And it doesn't translate super well to crossovers or double crossovers. I can do all of those, but the efficiencies could be improved significantly across the board. In fact, on Monday night when I was working out late into the evening, I was using a shorter rope for a set of 300 double unders, and I tripped on rep number 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, and I tossed that rope aside, ran into the RV really quick and grabbed my longer, more comfortable 9-foot rope, and I repped out all the reps, shoulders on fire, but I got them done. Not unbroken, but in much bigger sets. But I reached out to him and I said, hey, I know you've offered to help me. Let's do this thing, because I want to be efficient in all the movements, and whatever's coming at the games, I want to be ready for that. I don't want to be surprised. I don't want to be set back because I swing my arms like a crazy person on any kind of crossover movement. So, he's a specialist, and he's offered to do this. He's offered multiple times, and sometimes you just got to swallow your pride, step back, and go back to school.
That's a whole nother point that we didn't even touch on. Absolutely. And you said with double unders, I've been told numerous times, my coach specifically, your arms travel out, and I've seen myself on video, and I even have a longer rope now. It's just because it's how I've done it. And you have to separate that sometimes from, okay, I know I can get through this, do 100 or do 50 in a workout or how many, whatever, but is it the best way I should be doing it? And boy, does it take time to work with that and correct that. And you've got a specialist. There we go. You've got a specialist
Yep.
to go to.
I
Yeah,
mean,
good for you.
yeah, he's the man. He is the guy to do this. He knows everyone in the jump rope world. In fact, one of the fun things that he said, I was trying to do it with him today, and he said, "Well, my schedule's a little busy today because we're doing some work with Fit to Serve." And I don't know if you know who that guy is. Fit to Serve is a social media guy. He's significantly overweight, and he makes these really fun parody videos. Like,
yes.
when I started CrossFit, I really felt he has his hands up on his belly, and he is just shamelessly funny. So apparently they're doing some work together, and I said, well,
Oh my heavens.
you know, be sure to have fun with that guy, because I can't imagine someone more fun to be on a video with than that guy. He's just so good at it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look for that. We'll look
Heck
for
yeah.
some more of his content with double unders coming up.
I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, so
all right, Rick. Well, it's come to the time of the episode where we've got some picks or tips or a piece of gear of the week. You sent yours over to me already, and it inspired me as well. Because I felt like this was a good. I liked where you went, and then I followed suit. So I'll let you go first.
okay. All right. And this by no means takes away from me being a loyal and faithful Element user. Because I use Element at a different time. But what I was going to talk about this week is I still have continued to for a while used by True Athlete their hydration powder, and I mix it in my water prior to a workout with beta alanine, and I've just found that is how I start and work through something. Doesn't give me obviously like a true pre-workout. I don't have jitters or doesn't nothing tingles or anything like that. But it makes me feel well enough that it keeps me. I know it keeps me hydrated. Lets me work through whatever I'm tackling, and then I'll rehydrate further with Element afterwards. But this by True Athlete, it comes in a number of different flavors. I just happen to like the lemon lime, but what's important to me is it's NSF certified, so I know it's been tested. Again, I'm not worried about hydration powder, being tainted or anything like that. But as long as I see that label, and we've talked about that way back when, I have the confidence to use this, and it's something that I pick up either online through Amazon or through local vitamin shop retailer. But it works for me, and it is a staple. I feel if I start something and I don't have my shaker bottle full of that and my beta alanine, I feel like I'm not ready to go.
What's in there,
Rick?
Crazy does it have some electrolytes, or is there a little sugar? What are some of the ingredients that you think provide the benefit to you besides good flavor?
Yeah, I was going to say it's got what you might expect. Not so much on the sugar side, but a whole lot of things that I have trouble outside of calcium and magnesium, and I know it's got some zinc, chloride. It does not have as much sodium as you would think, and that's why I back up with Element.
Sure.
Certainly post workout. I mean, as far as the sodium goes here, it's a very small amount. It's only 90 milligrams of sodium, so you don't taste that whatsoever there. But it's not high in either calories or carbs. So again, you're not using it for that purpose. It's just something that I have found when I mix it with beta alanine. It's my pre and intra drink of choice.
Yep. It's funny. I was for years and years, I was convinced that I did not need any pre-workout or intra-workout drink, anything like that. I was just convinced that my body had plenty of reserves. But the reality is, when we're doing a bit more than a standard training session, a bit more than one class, and it extends, there comes some requirements for hydration. A little bit for me, I actually drink. Boy, I hate to say this, but I drink some Gatorade. Sometimes intra workout. If I'm doing a 3-hour session, I need some straight sugar in my system, and I'll sometimes use Gatorade for that. But it's not my favorite, and it's almost like wearing a Band-Aid right now, because I'm just looking for one that's a little bit better. But my pick of the week, going along with that, because I do love finding something that works and then sticking with it. And I'm just going to say Black Label Supplements Whey Protein has been a favorite of mine for, has to be almost 2 years now. It's a hydrolyzed whey, and it is a fast-absorbing whey protein. These guys are super concerned about NSF certification, so they actually do certification when the ingredients come to the packaging warehouse. They test the ingredients, and they actually test the product post packaging as well. So they've got a double testing process to ensure that that everything is completely clear. They sponsor some college athletic teams. As well as CrossFit athletes. They are a sponsor for me, so I will disclose that. They do sponsor me. But I've used them prior to them becoming a sponsor because I've just really enjoyed their protein. Now, I will say that I'm a big fan of their cookies and cream. I believe that's the flavor, the cookies and cream.
Oh, that sounds good.
I think they have a peanut butter flavor and a raspberry whey flavor, but I do not like myself. If peanut butter touches anything, it all tastes like peanut butter. So I am not on the peanut butter train in any way whatsoever, period, unless it's on toast. And that's fine. But so I really like, yeah.
So you will not drink like a peanut butter chocolate protein
Absolutely
flavor.
not. It's literally
oh my gosh.
It's a protein. It's a peanut butter smoothie. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh,
my kids love it.
Wow. Yes. I can get behind that.
I mean, I love peanuts, but I don't want peanuts in my cookies. I don't want them in my bread. I don't want any nuts anywhere but by themselves. Nothing. And then
spread on a piece of toast.
Yeah, spread on a piece of buttered toast, white bread, just pure. That's a cheat day right there. I will say that Black Label supplements, they also have they've got other supplements as well that I do pick up. I pick up their beta alanine. It's just straight beta alanine. They've got creatine. They have a peak performance pre-workout that I've been testing, and I feel great in my workout, so I'm testing that. I also drink Element as my pre-workout as well. So I've got all the hydration and just the very slim amount of supplements that I use. I actually just did a YouTube video like 3 or 4 weeks ago about what I actually do use. But what I use, I use every day. I try quite a few things, but when it comes down to it, I use like these 5 things and that's it. And Black Label supplies like 4 out of 5 of those. So it's a good company. I don't know. I like the small guys that just, they just love their athletes. They love their product. They're super passionate about what they do. And Black Label is just a good one. So good people, but their supplements have, they've been part of at least 2 of my CrossFit Games wins. So win-win. And when it comes through the drug testing in 2021, I was both urine tested and blood tested. 2022, urine tested only. I believe we were only urine tested. But their supplements are crisp, clean, clear. There's no contaminants, and we have the blood test to show for it.
That's important.
So important.
Yep, that's very important.
Yeah. No, we're never gambling. We're never messing around with any of that garbage.
No, exactly.
Well, Rick, it's been another good time.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. We touched on a lot tonight, and I hope everybody learned something. I know I got a lot more to work on, and could probably use hiring a specialist or 2.
Me too.
See where that goes.
Me too. And we've got a lot coming up. We've got 4 or 5 weeks before the CrossFit Games. We'll have a lot to discuss on the way to the games. And then, of course, post-games, there will be so much to share, so much to talk about, along with qualifiers and other competitions that will be coming up in the fall, winter, and then we'll literally blink, and it'll be February, and we'll be talking about the Open again.
Game season all over again.
Well, with that, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Masters in Motion podcast. If you found this episode helpful, we'd be grateful if you could take a moment to leave us a quick 5-star review on Apple Podcast or your preferred podcast app. Your support helps us reach more listeners and grow our Masters community. Until next time, get bolder, not old.